What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason, and this is the Tennessee Mountain Homestead. Today we're going to be back on the mud mower build. Last episode, we tore it down. This episode, we're going to build it up. So stay tuned, we got some good stuff coming.
Hey Dad, what you doing?
Oh, I'm just catching a quick workout with all these parts I took off the tractor. A lot of useless junk on that thing. Everything the opposite of what you need to drive through a mud puddle. Anyway, it's only about, I don't know, 80 pounds each. Just warming up for when I get to the real weight. So what I need to do is get the 5-inch pulley and the 7-inch pulley. The 5-inch pulleys for the transmission and the 7-inch pulleys for the motor. Now, the motor does not have a home in the engine bay yet. We got to fabricate that. But first, what we're going to do is get this pulley onto the transmission so that way we know where the engine needs to be once we line it up. So I searched and searched at Tractor Supply, Big R's, online. I had a heck of a time finding pulleys. Amazon, I mean, they got them, but not exactly what I needed and not readily available. And then I realized that all this time, you can go to Tractor Supply or Big R's and you can buy a hub with the shaft size you need and a pulley. And they fit together perfect and you just weld them. How come no one told me sooner? So this here is the old pulley from the transmission. And we're working with about 8 inches in diameter, outside diameter. I know the belt ride's a little shallower in there. No big deal. This is gonna be the new pulley for the transmission. That's a 5-inch. And I got that from other mud mower channels, people that I like and respect. This here's a 7-inch pulley for the motor. Next, we're gonna weld. So I got the first transmission pulley welded up, and it ain't teabag. Hey, transmission pulley, where are you going? Nowhere, town. As you can see, I got the new hub on there. And something I found out here that's pretty cool about these old tractors, or at least this one, 200 series, is the whole transmission is bolted to its own like plate or setup or whatever. And I can just take out 2 bolts on each side and leave one in there so it can hinge down. And I can access the pulley a lot easier. All right, so the next step is we got to get the engine mounted in the engine bay of that tractor. So first things first, we got to get rid of the shipping board. This exhaust got to go because we're probably going to get custom exhaust in there and headers, you know that, of course. And let's see, we probably got to remove this here key switch. And I think that'll be about it. Put the pulley on. Hold on, girls.
How's it going, Dad?
Pretty good. Just got one last bolt and I got to get this muffler off. I'm trying to be really careful, you know. We really don't want to do any damage in this stuff. Just got to be really careful with this stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Alright, so next, we're trying to get this engine to fit in this engine bay. This is the very first time we tried. Already, we had to get rid of the oil cooler and the, what else? We got rid of the key switch start thing. Here's the oil cooler. What else did we get rid of, Stefan?
That's it.
Alright, well that's it.
The muffler.
Oh, the muffler, obviously. Well, anyways, we're trying to get this thing to fit in here. And having some issues. So come on, let me show you something. So here's the old motor mounts. Right here and right here. So they're isolated. See how they can move? Well, this one is hitting on this cross member right here, because I noticed it broke. You can see where the metal sheared. And whoever the previous owner was, they just drilled through and they put a piece of steel here and a piece of steel under here and tried to bolt it back together so it would stay. Obviously, it didn't work too well. But I think we're going to have to go ahead and take that motor mount out and that motor mount to make some more clearance in here, because it's pretty tight. I didn't expect it to be that tight. But anyways, we'll be back. We've got the engine in a pretty good spot, but we need it to go back so it can go down further. We want this thing down as low as possible for center of gravity and for hood clearance. We're close on the clearance as it is, but I think we can get another inch or two out of it down, but we have to clearance it right here. We've got this piece of sheet metal right here, and it's touching on the shroud. So we can comfortably cut a couple inches out of that and still have our cowling here on the side. It's going to go something like that. So we're going to go ahead and cut this and see if we can get it down lower and in a better spot. Instead of taking a Sawzall to this thing or what have you, I'm going to use what's called a knockout set. We use this in the electrical trade to make holes for conduit in enclosures and sheet metal. But it works pretty good for this kind of deal too. We can just take a bite out of this. It'll be a nice clean, nice and clean lag. It's basically a manual hydraulic ram. Just like that. We got the engine fit in here pretty dang good. I mean, it came out even better than I thought. At first, I got to admit, I was a little bit skeptical. I was a little worried that I might have got too big of a motor, but there ain't no such thing as that. So, look at over here. Look at here. Look at right here. Get in there, boy. Look at that. Right in the stock circle for the old crankcase. Don't get much better than that, does it now? Look at this, right in here. Clearance. We can still get the filter off. We can still hook up our oil lines for the cooler. Come over on this side. Looky here. We got access to dipstick, oil fill, air cleaner, and the best thing is, when I hold it with my foot and hold my mouth just right, I'm on the center line of the transmission pulley. How badass is that? So next, all we got to do is get an engine plate welded in here at the correct height, and we are golden, son. We are in the money.
You're on.
Now that is cash money! All right. We got the engine placed where we wanted it. I got up in here. I got a level. I figured out where the engine plate needs to be. We went out to the old scrap heap in the other garage, and we found this piece of 3/16 plate. Now, the optimum dimensions are going to be, I'm going to make this about 8 inches by 14.5 long. Look in here. It's going to fit in here. It needs to start just left of this axle support right here. It's going to run over to this cross member right here. This is probably solid steel. It's going to weld to the bottom of this. That's going to keep it horizontal, and it's going to come straight level. And I'm going to have to probably notch it around this piece here. It's going to get welded all through here, and it's going to touch the edge here, and it's going to weld right here around the corner. Now, what we're also going to do is, I know that 1/4 inch is probably more desirable to mount an engine to, but 3/16 is what I got. So once this thing's cut out and we have it fitted in here to how it needs to be, we have some angle iron, some 1-inch angle iron. We'll stitch weld to the bottom of this thing to stiffen it up. And we'll see you in a minute. We got Stefan on the microphone, de-rusting our engine plate. What?
I got this.
All right, so like I said, we built ourselves an engine plate. As you can see, we stitch welded it, 3/16 plate with a 1-inch angle, stitch welded. You can see you got good penetration. And then check it out. Fits just in here like this. Look at this right here. Right in there under that cross member, we're gonna burn it right here. We're gonna burn it here, we're gonna burn it here. Don't worry about that right there. I kind of messed that up, but that's all right. We'll weld it here. And then if it needs anything else, we'll add gussets and whatnot. We'll be back. We got the engine plate in the lawnmower. It's only tacked in there right now with some Fat Daddy tacks because if I have to move it for some reason or whatever when we fabricate the clutch system, you know, it's one of those things. But anyways, check it out. It's perfect. It's level this way. It's level that way. Yes, the frame of the lawnmower is level too. And guess what? Predator's going on there next. Look, Ma, no hands. The engine's sitting in there on its own plate. Guess what? The next thing we're gonna do is get this thing lined up, bolted down. We're gonna jack it up in the air, and we're gonna build a custom clutch assembly for it. And a little spoiler alert, I'm gonna try to mimic a wheel horse setup like these internet legends like Creepy Crawler and Mr. Studebaker have done. They're the designers, I've seen the videos. But that's what I wanna try to replicate on this thing. So we got some fabrication ahead of us, and stay tuned. Hey Stefan, what'd you do with the grinder? Oh no, you didn't! That'll be the last time you mess with me, you dang varmint! Take that! This is gonna conclude today's video. It was a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of shenanigans, a lot of good times. We had fun, I hope you guys did too. I hope we all learned something, which is, you know what? We had fun, dang it, and I hope you guys did too. Stay tuned for the next episode where we fabricate a custom clutch setup and get this thing in the mud.